Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Age Capture Live. I am your host, Harry Bridgeforth, and I have with me today a very special guest, all around good guy, educator, principal, Mr. Vernon Thompson. How you doing, sir?
Peace, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
No
And,
doubt.
and it's great to be with a great brother such as yourself.
What's going on? That's excellent, excellent. I see the
Yeah.
books in the back. Always learning new things, right?
Yes, always, learning new things.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this represents a lot of the knowledge that I've acquired
Mm-hmm.
and books that I've used to get where I'm at.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Vernon's history, his educational background, also in the school system, a little different things with programs that he works on, and then we're going to pick his mind on some personal stuff, and then we're going to also work on his professional stuff as well. The whole thing is supposed to be able to educate others. Maybe there's other people that want to go into the education field, possibly want to become a principal, and then also to intertwine, Black History Month. We're starting out with a good brother that's working hard in the education system to acquire new things. So we're gonna go in that route. All right. So the show is gonna be broken down. It's gonna be 5 questions for Vernon's professional life. And it's gonna be 5 questions for Vernon's personal life, some of his preferences and things like that. We're gonna do some plugs at the end, and then we'll be good to go. All right.
Yep.
All right. So we're gonna get right into it. How'd you become a principal?
So I actually began in the education field. It wasn't my intended or chosen area. I went to college and studied marketing.
Okay.
And my main focus was getting in the entertainment industry
Okay.
as an artist, but also utilizing my marketing degree from Quinnipiac to get into the music industry. And when I came out of college, I was an athlete. So when you're an athlete, you don't really have the time and opportunity to really do internships in the summer because you're preparing for the season during the summer. So after my senior year, I had an opportunity to intern at Zomba Recordings, which is the publishing company for R. Kelly at the time, in connection with Jive Records. So I had that opportunity, and things just weren't moving the way that they needed to, and the internship fell through. So I got a job as a paraprofessional, which really you only needed an associate's to do. But I came in, and that was just a job that gave me the flexibility to actually go after the music industry career.
Okay.
Gave you time. You didn't have to bring a whole lot of work home. And most importantly, it gave me medical benefits.
Okay.
Which that's
a key thing. People don't pay attention.
Come out of college and you're no longer under mom and dad's benefits. So for me, it was just something, to kind of get me over till I got to where I really wanted to get. But I didn't realize that job would actually lead me into my future. So I spent 3 years as a teacher's assistant. And I said, look, I can do this. I feel like I can give these young men a quality education. At the time, I was at Bridgeport Learning Center, which is a therapeutic day program. And that's a school for students with psychiatric issues and emotional disturbance. So I felt like I could bring something to the table to help the students in that population. And I got myself into the classroom. I went back to school. I earned a total of 12 credits, which allowed me to be a long-term substitute. And that's where you're not officially a teacher, but you have the credentials to be on your way. So they could give you a classroom for a long-term amount of time until you get certified. And that inspired me to go back, get a master's in special education. And then I was a certified special education teacher for 7 years after that, before going into administration.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And for everyone out there, God always has a plan. And sometimes you get into something not knowing.
You not even know.
When I was in college, I said I'd never be a teacher. I'd never go into education. And that's kind of how things fell in place. And I feel like I'm doing something now that I like to do every day. Like I love going to Harding High School every morning. There's not a day where I'm not inspired or dreading to go into school, So,
and that's a big deal because you're affecting so many people. You know what I mean? Anytime that you're teaching someone, you're teaching people for the future too. It's future generations that you're actually affecting. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
definitely.
It's a big
Definitely.
deal. It's a lot more important than most people give credit to a lot of teachers. You know, we talk about the economics behind it. We talk about the education that's needed to get into the systems, and then we also talk about the ratio in terms of, you know, black teachers, white teachers, Spanish teachers, and then in the inner cities and in the towns outside. So it's a big deal when you have that on top of, you know, you're just going to a school and you're teaching, but then you're also expanding their knowledge and saying like, oh, I could possibly do that if I wanted to grow and be a teacher as well. So it's an inspiring thing to see that starting up and then going in from, like you said, now you have two different outlooks too, because you went in it going from marketing, so you can always go into like teaching that as well, right?
I could, you know, I do have enough business credits that if I wanted to, when you get into administration, you don't really have the time, but I could, you know, teach business at a community college if that was something that I wanted, you know, to entertain.
Yeah, or, you know what I mean, like later on, you never know what happens later on.
Well, it definitely helped me.
Yeah.
Especially with my time, you know, in the music industry. A lot of people know me as a part of the group Catch 22. And a lot of the things that I learned helped me market the group, along with my partner at the time. The things that I learned helped me market myself, but it also helped me market myself as an educator. So they're just valuable tools that I always have.
Yeah, that's what's up. So after you get the logistics behind it, after you get the master's, right? How much longer does it take for you to actually become a principal?
So after the master's is just the first step, and it's actually a certification. So the state requires you to get a certain amount of credits within your area of education. So you can do social studies, science, you can do English, you can do mathematics, and they have grade spans that they go. You can do high school math, elementary, middle school. My certification is kindergarten to 12th grade special education. So after you complete the credit and course requirements, you have to pass an exam, which can be really, really strenuous. It's called the Praxis 2, and you have to pass that in a specified area. That was a challenge because a lot of these tests are not catered to minorities. So I took it 3 times. And just a jewel for anybody that's taking any exams in whatever area, never study with the materials of the company that makes the test, because they're in the business of having you retake the test. So
they want you to spend that money. They don't want you to pass.
They want you to keep spending the money. So my first few times, I'm using the material of the exam makers, and I wasn't quite getting over the hump. And I had to get materials from multiple companies to prepare myself. And I passed it, you know, extremely. I was about 20 points above, but I really had to put in work to get through that part. So, and then once you pass those exams, you now have a certification from the state, and you can officially go into the classroom. After that, if you want to go from teaching to administration, you have to have 5 successful years of teaching. And that means that your evaluations as a teacher have to show that you were effective in the classroom. After the 5 is just one part. You have to go back again. So I went to University of Bridgeport, and I studied educational leadership. And you have to get, I want to say it's about 18 credits in educational leadership. And let me backtrack and shout out Southern Connecticut. I got my special education master's from Southern Connecticut. And at the time, I was one of the few Black men that actually got certified in special education. A woman at the time, Miss Bruckner, who's now in Maine, she wanted me to go through New Haven and talk to minority students about getting certified. But after that point, I went and got another 18 credits, actually 21, from University of Bridgeport. Then I had to pass another exam.
Okay.
To become an administrator.
Mm.
So it doesn't stop. Not only the coursework, you have to pass some rigorous exams, which I said are not created to cater to people of color. But no matter what your race is, these are
hard.
difficult tests,
Hard in general.
That take a lot of work. And I got right through the administrative exams first shot. But a lot of preparation. I spent a lot of nights just preparing for the exam portion of it.
I mean, it's just a good outlook to see it from another person's perspective, because we always see the outcome. We never really see the journey to get up to that point. You know what I mean?
I think, I know for teachers, it could be discouraging because sometimes people see the pay. And there's solid pay in it, but there's a ton of sacrifices. A ton of work that you have to do in terms of the education piece, and then the test that you have to pass along with all the education. So I think these challenges sometimes deter people, but the opportunity to inspire, to touch lives is great, and that's what makes it worth it. I had a student, he's got a child on the way, but he found a picture from 6th grade graduation of me and him, and he sent it to me in my inbox. And those are the things that make it
how
all.
How do you put a price on something like that? You know what I mean? You can't
it's
put
hard
a price
to put
on
a price. There's no price that you can put on those moments. But it is a lot of work to actually get in. And just to add, I want to shout out Rashawn Custis.
Okay.
He's currently African-American male from Bridgeport. And as I went through my process, he was watching it and said, look, what kind of work? So these questions that you're asking, he's asked. And, he's following, I don't want to say in my footsteps, but as he saw me do it, he said, look, I want to get in the classroom. What did you do? And I talked to him. He went back and did it. And now in terms of administration, it's the same thing. So these are important questions, and it's well worth it because he's also now happens to be at Harding, where I'm at, and he's doing a great job in the classroom. So if you're looking to get in any field, these are the important questions to ask.
You have to know, and that's what I kind of use my platform to do, is just to educate a lot of people in different avenues. Because I've had all different people on the show, like artists. This is the first person I've had as an educator, but I've had other teachers, actors, musicians, and things like that. So most people, they don't know the technicalities behind, the education, all the tests they see at the end. Do you feel, as like we talked briefly about the salaries and stuff, do you feel like educators get paid what they deserve? Like, even this is in New England, right? We have
before I touch on that, what I need to add, these tests cost like $250. A session. So I know I spent a lot of money retaking, and then your certification last year, just on certification renewals. I don't want to discourage, but just the price that teachers pay. I probably spent about $650 because I have teaching certifications that I want to keep current. And that I don't want to expire. But I don't think, I'll say in urban communities they don't get paid fairly. And a lot of people are ending up with their, at a time before I got into administration, my back was against the wall because a town over, suburban town, is offering me $20,000 more dollars. While I, like to stay in Bridgeport, those are really tough challenges, and it becomes really difficult. So, especially in urban communities, I think you want to pay teachers more so that they are invested. They should get paid very close to the suburban peers.
I don't understand why. I don't understand. Like, I know the demographics and things like that play a part, but the reality is you're doing the same type of job. I would imagine if it's in it's in an area that it's not as high in demand, higher turnover rates and things like that, you should get paid more.
One thing that I can explain, it becomes, it's more, I would say, like Bridgeport, for instance, we have 21,000 students.
Yeah. Yep.
Norwalk may have 5,000. So it's a more expensive bill to educate the 21,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the more students you have, it's just like if we were taking a group out to eat.
Yep. Yep.
You know, you can take 10 people to the steakhouse, to Ruth Chris, but once it hits 30, you may be going to American Steakhouse.
Yeah. And it's true. You gotta make it work.
So I think, and I'm not saying that the teaching quality, they're great teachers, just as good as teachers in urban schools.
But it does deter you when you have to pay your bills and you can go to one city and get paid $20,000 less unless you go to the other one. You know what I mean? You're kind of being, it's deterring, to some degree. And I think that, like I said, the teachers that are in inner cities, they are in, I guess, high demand, but people don't want to go there, because it's harder. But those are the things that really need people. So
the extreme challenges too, and it just being, transparent. But I'm committed to urban education, educating parents, the difficulty that you face, that you may not face, and in suburban towns, the other challenge is though that parents are demanding very, very high quality, and sometimes that's a lot of pressure too. But the job is very demanding, and people that have got to listen to the Joe Clark tape,
of course,
which is there's things that you experience as an urban educator that just aren't in the classroom. There's trauma. There's things that our students are going through that they just can't put in the book to prepare you for.
Yeah, that goes into my next question in terms of like, what do you need to be a good educator, other than just education, and going to school? But what does it take to be a good educator? What is a good teacher versus a bad teacher in your eyes?
The key to good education, for one, is pushing students to create. Sorry about that. My phone just cut out. We might have to bring that one back.
It's all right. You want me to ask a question?
Give me one quick second.
All right.
I think my.
I mean, you was good on my end.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Let me bring it back. You can ask that question. What it takes to be a good teacher. So, to be a good teacher, one, you have to challenge independent thinking, and you have to challenge students to reflect on their thoughts. But none of this happens without the ability to develop relationships with students.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest things, to develop relationships, to develop a rapport, to make it desirable for students to want to be in your classroom, and one to make students feel safe in the classroom. They have to trust you. They have to believe that they can take intellectual risk and chances and answer questions that they may get wrong. But if you develop your thoughts, what is the wrong answer? So it's really creating a safe space for students to intellectually challenge themselves. That's what a great teacher does. And it takes relationship building to do that. Teaching is a very, very difficult task, because it then involves great preparation. So one, you have to prepare well, you have to be organized. Those are some of the other things, but you can prepare the greatest lesson. You can have all the intangibles, but have you created an atmosphere where you can execute it? And then when things go wrong, can you adjust?
Yeah.
So there's so much to be.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're talking about in terms of a career. you're affecting so many different people, because I think the hardest jobs are the people, or the jobs that deal with the relationships of people, because people in general are very hard, depending on where they come from, depending on what has influenced them up to that point. And then you're talking about, especially like in high schools, where you got people that are in their developmental stages, where they're going to become adults soon, so you're dealing with a whole bunch of things there. And then, like you said, education across the board with the parents, the generational education, and practicing what they're coming from on the long term. So it's a difficult thing in general just to be a teacher, let alone be a teacher in the inner city. So
it's a tumultuous and huge task. Not only that, you have to know how to manage behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Behavior management is a science within itself.
Okay.
So not only do you the students don't just sit there and soak in information.
Yeah.
You have students that are feeling feeling one way on this day, and you have to meet their needs. Yep. You have to meet the need of every learner. So, I mean,
and everybody learns differently.
You have to have multiple strategies. So teaching itself is a difficult science when you talk high school, middle school, elementary school, early childhood.
Yep. So talking about teachers, who is your favorite teacher and how they inspire you?
Yeah. So my favorite teacher is Aurora Sneed. She was my 5th grade teacher.
Okay.
And the main thing about her is I just had such this degree of respect for her. Mm-hmm. I believed her, I believed in her, and she pushed me to be the best that I could be. But I tell her this story because we went to the same church at one time.
Okay.
She gave me a summer packet at the end of 5th grade. And she's like, you got to do every page of this packet. It's going to be your first set of grades for 6th grade. I believed her so much that I worked on that in the summer.
Okay.
And I came in 6th grade and I said, that packet. And she looked at me confused, and I said, she got me to do this packet.
Like, I didn't have to do nothing.
I respected her so much that I would play my summer league basketball game, and I was coming in and really working on this packet, reading, and it just showed me. It was a reflective moment for me, because when she looked at me funny, I said, I didn't even really have to do this.
Yeah, she got you. She got you to focus on something other than what you were normally doing in summertime.
Yeah.
And that, let alone those little pieces, like he said, those are the differences between the student relating to the teacher, because you're literally saying, oh, that teacher did something that was different, and that stood out to you in your mind,
Yeah. And that, to me, that's what keeps me on the top of my list, because what we all want to do as educators and as people, you want to spark intrinsic motivation and internalization of motivation. And even in my position, I don't like the fact that kids run to go into class when they see me coming. That doesn't.
I mean, there's a level to that.
It's a level to it.
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, I want you, and I don't think it's just out of fear. I think part of it is a respect. Yeah. But my thing is, what can I spark inside of you to make you not want to be in this hallway?
Yeah.
And that's the greater level of it. And sometimes it comes later, but when you can inspire someone internally versus your external presence, making them do something, that's when you've done your part.
Yeah. It's like when we're talking about the integrity, right? When you're there and you're like, okay, I see how you act when I'm around you, but when when I'm not around you, how do you act? That's showing, okay, that's your integrity in terms of a person. So that's those are the building blocks that really define a person in general. It doesn't matter about what they show you in front. Everything's great when you're right next to them. But when you're not around, how are they acting? What are they hiding? What are they doing? How are they really as a person? You know what I mean? So it's a difficult thing, but it's also something that, like you said, if you can touch somebody and you can change, nobody's perfect. The reality is no person that's born is going to be perfect, but those are the intricate traits. If those things are something that bother you, then you'll definitely carry that on. And whether it's taught by a teacher, principal, pastor, parent, friend, it doesn't matter. It incorporates how the development of a person is. So it's an important thing to have. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So going into the next question, you know, you're in school systems, and we talked before off camera about, you know, you promoting other brands and working on everything else. What are your newest projects? Are there any new projects that you're working on for the school system or personally?
One of my biggest focuses right now, I've been working on the Joe Clark 2.
Okay.
And it's a follow-up to the first project. I didn't intend on doing a second educational hip-hop project. But, you know, there's just more things to talk about. There's more things that I experienced.
Yep.
And this project really focuses on the family. Because I think a lot of times in our community, our focus is on how can we improve the education system and what's wrong with the education system and why is the education system failing our students, our kids. And what I've looked at is the things that are going on within the Black and brown family.
Yep. In the household.
Cities like Bridgeport.
Yep.
There's so many dynamics that are having great effects on our communities that are impacting who our children are when they come into schools.
Yep.
So those are the dynamics, though they're difficult to change. You can change it a family at a time. Even if you change your family.
Yep.
Even if there's someone who says, look, my family, no disrespect to Bridgeport, but my family will not grow up in Bridgeport. I'm going to move them here, and I'm going to provide this. It's done a family at a time, and that's our reality. And we have to do more looking at us and how we can change ourselves. So this Joe Clark is very reflective in terms of dealing with the dynamics that are impacting the family, which is impacting the students who are stepping foot in the building with all types of, you know, traumatic experiences. And I'm not just talking Bridgeport. I'm talking it's Chicago, it's Baltimore, it's Greensboro, North Carolina, it's Winston-Salem, North Carolina, it's Charleston, South Carolina, it's Hampton, Virginia, you know, it's Compton, California.
It's everywhere.
You know, same story.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same things. And when you look into, you know, our community, there are certain things that affect us differently than other communities because of all the systemic things that have been processed for years. And then as we start to change, a lot of us we alienate ourselves from other situations. And then we also get alienated from other people in our community just because you're trying to do something that's different. So it's ideal that we always make a step towards the positive for the overall good. Like you're talking about the families. If we neglect that and we don't really focus on that as being a strong point for our communities, we won't have any, because that's the goal, is to separate the families so that there is no more structure. There's no more structure, there's no more stability. And no more stability, then you have a failure in the community. So
that's exactly where we're at.
Yeah. Make sure you send me the links to it when we post this out. So I always promote everybody's new projects and things like that. So make sure you send me the first one.
I'll share one, and I haven't set a date for two.
I
just completed it. But look out, you know, for Joe Clark 2. It's the follow-up to 1.
Yep.
And it's really looking to speak the messages so that we can reflect on us.
Yep.
And within that reflection, we can spark some internal changes.
That's what's up. The last professional question, what are your plans for the future in terms of like your job? I know that you get to like the principal level. Is there anything above that you want to get into? And
so a lot of people pose the question a lot that, you know, when are you gonna become a principal, or when do you go after the next thing? And you know, the one thing that I do say, and that I say often, I'm working with a very cohesive unit.
Okay.
And children need a cohesive unit, in terms of head principals, the assistant principals, the teachers, the social workers. And right now, there's just a lot of work that I'm doing at Harding High School. And it's not that, I don't want to say that I'm content, but there's work to finish where I'm at and in the space that I'm in. And that's kind of where I'm at. And I think when the time comes, I will look to do, whatever's next. But I'm gonna be honest, I love Harding High School.
You're needed there. You're needed there. I see. I pay attention to what you're doing. You're doing a lot of things, and that's a positive look on, that particular school. That school has gone through a lot. You know what I mean? It's gone through a lot.
I really love, Harding High School. I really love working with, shout out to Principal Dane Brown, Matt Corcoran, Catherine Silver, Lewis Jackson, our Dean of Students. But I really love the team that I'm working with. And, a lot of people put a lot of value on the next position or their title. And I put value on loving to be where I'm at every day and waking up and wanting to be there because I trust the people that I'm around and they trust me. And there's just more value on that than the next title, and, whenever my time is to become a principal, I would want to create that type of space. But my value is on being somewhere that I love, like it doesn't feel like work. And people know there's heavy lifting at Harding, but to me, it doesn't feel like work. I wake up and I'm excited to be there. I used to have kids say, "Look, you like being here, huh?" I'll be like, "You think so?
Yeah.
That's good that you see that."
Yeah, that's good that you see that because that means that that's coming off of me, and you're gonna pick up on that energy. So that's good. Yeah. Okay. So we got some of the professional stuff. Hopefully, any of the audience fans, they're interested in anything that's regards to education. Reach out to Vernon and get some.
Yeah, please feel free if you're interested in getting into the field. I'm always open to give you the advice on my path. And in education terms, I've really started from the bottom. Because the peer professional is the starting position. And it's much respect to the peer professionals out there. That's where I started. And, I kept being inspired to do more.
That's what's up. So obviously, we want to, on the platform, we like to showcase professionalism or a professional career in something. And we also like to get some more personal stuff because some people do not know you personally. We've talked off camera and through social media and things like that, but this is a good way to get some of your preferences. So the next set of questions are things that will make you give us some insight on what things you like, some preferences in terms of, places, TV shows and so on. So it'll be, I'll ask you a question, this or that. Like if I ask you hamburgers or hot dogs, which one would you say?
Okay, I got you.
So then you would be, you'd be like,
yep. I got where you going.
Yeah. So you'd answer one or the other, and you can elaborate on anything if you like, or you can be as simple as you like. You can say like, I like that. So just for the fans. All right.
Got you.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. So first question, better franchise, Yankees or Red Sox?
You gotta go Yankees, man.
Yankees? Okay.
Gotta go Yankees, yeah.
All right. Better player, Kobe or LeBron?
I gotta just elaborate.
Yep. Most people do on this question.
I think Kobe's the better competitor. And if I have to put the ball in a man's hands to win me a game, I'm putting it in Kobe's hands.
Okay.
I think LeBron is the better playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a guy who can get everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely more unselfish. If I had to play with one or the other, I would want to play with LeBron.
LeBron, okay.
You know, I would want to play with LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of where I stand on that one. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better artist, overall artist. So this is like a entertainer. We talked about the music industry.
Yeah.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
All right.
I can't give you the easy one.
Mike is the better entertainer. But just musically, I'm a Prince guy.
Okay.
Just for the musical mind.
Mm-hmm.
He's a musician who picked up a piano on his own, picked up a guitar on his own. So just in terms of musical genius, Prince.
Okay.
But in terms of entertainment, Mike's the better entertainer.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good one.
This is more like the in a genre, because I'm a big comic book fan or in that realm of things, artistry and stuff. Are you a person that's Team Marvel or Team DC?
I'm gonna be real. My son's got me into it.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
So he's Marvel, I'm Marvel.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why I keep it.
All right.
I'm into it right now because my son is really big into collecting.
Yep.
So and he's Marvel.
He's Marvel.
Yeah.
So you Marvel. That's it. You done.
I'm Marvel.
All right. The last question is a scenario question. Okay, I asked this because this is more a real life situation, and if it was a hypothetical situation that happened, if you had this opportunity, right?
Yep.
So you're at a bar and you get bumped by somebody, and they want to fight you, right? They want to fight. So it's a physical altercation. At the bar, there's two other people there that you are looking at, and you need some help. So it's going to be like a 2-on-2 type of thing, right? You get to pick one of these two people, but your opponent gets to take the other one. Okay?
Yep.
Are you going with Sugar Ray Leonard?
I'm a boxing guy. Or who?
Floyd Mayweather. Now, this is not a boxing fight. This is a regular fight in a bar. Keep in mind.
I'm going with Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Floyd is small enough that if I grab him, I'm 6'4", he's 5'9". If I gotta grab Floyd and hold him on the ground, I could do that. And Sugar Ray's bigger. I'm going with Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay, so those are my shotgun questions. Where can somebody find you online if they need to contact you or they reach out?
So Facebook, Vernon Thompson, Instagram, Vernon S. Thompson, Twitter, Vernon S. Thompson. You can find me on all platforms. Reach out, let's connect. And if you want to stream music, Vernon Thompson on all streaming platforms, the Joe Clark tape. There's some other singles out there, and look out for Joe Clark too.
That's what's up. I appreciate you, bro. Like I said, it's a long time.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. And keep up the great work, man.
Thank you, sir.
I respect, and I'm definitely proud of what you're doing, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. I like it. Like I said, I like to share everybody's because there's so much talent. And I'm a Connecticut person where I like to promote my state. I'm not a person that's gonna be like, oh, I'm not from Connecticut. There's so much talent in Connecticut, and I just want to use my platform to showcase so many different people's abilities. And then for the people that don't know, it's like we network. Your soft or cold network, warm network, intertwined. You don't know who is watching that may be interested in something.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll get you on a couple other times. We'll talk about some other stuff. So we'll reach out.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. So, audience, thank you. Appreciate everything. Make sure you share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
Peace.